So, I've been thinking a bit about as we age, the things we're supposed to care or not care about. There seems to be an expectation that as women get older, we're supposed to care less about everything, whether it's people's opinions, our appearance, um, motivation to do things, that we're just, basically just supposed to back down quietly and fade into the background. Um, but I don't think that's true. I think that we still care deeply about things, just maybe a little bit more selectively and in a different way. So for me, one of the areas that gets mentioned a lot is that we shouldn't care what other people think. I agree with that as a whole part anyway for our entire lives. But specifically as we get older, people tend to think that, just because people have opinions, we're supposed to be like, oh, I don't care about those opinions. I march to my own drum. I'm completely an independent thinker, that type of stuff. Which again, a lot of that sounds really good. But I've always looked at it this way, that opinions, you can't control other people's opinions. You can't control other people's judgments. The only thing that you can control is how you react to it. So most of my life, I've been pretty good about letting things roll off my back when people don't agree with choices I make, the way I choose to live my life. For the most part, it's just, I'm a duck, rolls off my back like water, except for the people who I respect. When I respect somebody, I tend to care more about what their opinion is, either about me or just in general. Seeking out people's advice on things is seeking out their opinion. My daughters, I care greatly what their opinion is on things. I refer to them frequently when considering something. They don't always agree with my decisions, but I do respect them and look for their opinions. Another thing that people tend to think we, as we age, would care less about is our appearance. Like, oh, I'm older, I don't care anymore, I'm just comfortable in my own skin, which is great, and everybody should feel comfortable in their own skin for sure. But I spent the last decade or so already not caring how I looked, which, I didn't put myself together. I let myself go. I thought that it's not that I was trying to be cool by being like, I don't care. I was also just super way overstressed and busy trying to run a business. And my personal appearance was the last thing on my mind, and certainly the last thing I put any effort into. And I didn't realize just how much that ate at me. I thought, I was stressed about other things and I was super busy. So I thought that those were the things that were kind of leading to my overall lack of happiness. But once I moved myself out of that situation and was able to take a better look at myself and what was important to me, I realized that if I take a little effort and put myself together, I feel so much better. So as I'm aging, I'm not really thinking that my appearance is less important to me. It's actually more important to me because I have found the value in feeling good about how I look. I'm not saying I am a movie star, gorgeous, that kind of thing, or even compared to other people. I just know when I have eyes that can be seen and red lips on my face, I feel better. I feel good. And I like the way that feels. So in an age where we're kind of expected to not care about how we look, but also as we age, we're supposed to try to look as youthful as possible. It's just one of those really complicated areas where as a woman, it's hard to navigate. How much do you chase looking young versus, don't care and kind of go whatever that means to you, whatever not caring means to you. For me, it was no makeup, no hair. It was even bigger than that. I ate poorly. I didn't exercise. Just really didn't care anything about my appearance. So that's one area for me anyway. I'm going against the grain where they expect us to care less, because like I said, I actually care more now. Speaking of appearance, weight is a big topic about appearance. And I think that for society right now, especially, the expectation is to lose weight no matter whatever means possible. And they've made it very easy with the, current drugs that are available. Some of the most popular things out there are weight-related programs, communities. There seems to always be some newest and greatest way. For me, I still care about my weight, but not in a sense of how it relates to my appearance. That I've let go. I did tie a lot to feeling big and uncomfortable and not attractive, to where now I am still big, and I'm working on it for a different reason, not because I feel unattractive, but because I want to be healthier. I want to improve my functional strength, my mobility, mostly just to help build the autonomy I want. I want to be able to do things on my own for myself, like I used to do. And I'm seeing some of that happening, and it's awesome. So I do still care about my weight, but I don't care about how it relates to, my appearance in, other people's eyes. So it kind of pulls all those three together. The other thing is ambition. So ambition seems to be one where, they want us to kind of slow down. Our society expects us as we age to, kind of slow down, pre-retirement, downsize, all that kind of stuff. And, I've had some mix-ups in my life where I've had to slow down just because that's the way that the cookie crumbled. But as I age, I'm finding that slowing down isn't really an interest. I don't really care less about my ambition. I still am very ambitious. It's just my ambitions have changed. So career-wise, yeah, probably has slowed down a little bit. I'm not looking to become, a VP again. I am very happy as an individual contributor. But as far as life, not even close, not slowing down. I'm just as curious as ever, which is why I've started this channel. I know I am not the only one who feels as I'm aging, there is actually more to explore, more to do. And so in that regard, I'm extremely ambitious. The last one is relationships. So a lot of times as we age, if we're solo, we tend to think like, oh, I have to feel like I don't care anymore about being in a relationship. I'm fine being by myself. And, that is definitely true. Like, I do feel that I am okay without being in a relationship. But where I think it differs a little bit is it's not that I feel like I'm settling anymore. Being alone was something that I always felt I had to fix throughout my life. I always was looking for somebody to be with, even if it was for short term. I still hoped it would potentially work out to be longer. It drove my life a lot. I stayed with people longer than I should have because I had them and it was better than being alone. But the funny thing is, I'm fine being alone. Like, I enjoy my own company. I'm very capable. I don't, need a person to help me exist. But I had this drive of like, I have to find somebody. So a lot of what motivated me through my adult life was finding somebody. And what I've been able to let go of is that need to find somebody. Like, right now in my life as an aging woman, I appreciate the independence now. Like, I finally have accepted that independence isn't something that I need to fix. It's actually something that is a gift. The peace that comes with it, the autonomy, um, the ability to do what I want, when I want, with who I want, how long I want. It's very liberating, and yeah, like I said, it's a gift. So while society expects that, middle-aged, midlife, women in our season uh, should be caring less or expect us to care less about everything. Maybe it's really more that we're selective about what we care about. We still care, and deeply, but just about different things and at a different level. Adding that level of intention is, I think, something that I know for me has really helped me reshape my mind as to this part of the journey, like where this season that I'm in, and how I feel about some of these things that we're supposed to, care less about. So hopefully some of you might be sharing some of these thoughts and finding sort of the more intentional way of thinking about some of these areas that we're supposed to be caring less about. If you do, then drop a comment. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. I do believe that I'm not alone in some of this, so hopefully we can have a little conversation. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to continue exploring what it's all about with aging and trying new things, please subscribe. And I appreciate all of your attention. And if you stuck through, I appreciate you listening to the whole thing. And I will see you in the next video.